Welcome to my stories Red channel. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, please like and share your comments. We make new videos with interesting stories every day. AITA for hiding my BF's dog to prove a point. My 23F BF Hank, 26M, has a dog Ladybird, and we have a son together, Bobby, 3M. He has had Ladybird since before we got together, about 5 years ago. I'm actually allergic to dogs, but I make do because I know Ladybird means a lot to him, and I've grown to love her as if I had her my whole life. We both have full-time jobs and split the housework just fine, but when it comes to Bobby, I feel like Hank treats Ladybird better sometimes. Hank will come home and go straight to Ladybird to play and cuddle and talk to her, but he never stops off to see how Bobby is doing, if has eaten or if he had a bad day in daycare or anything. I assume has thinking has with mama, so everything's good, but I feel it's not too much to ask for an acknowledgement when he first gets home. Last month on Hank's day off, I had Bobby out of daycare since he was sniffly, and I didn't want to risk it, so Hank watched him. When I came home from work, Hank was watching TV, and I couldn't find Bobby. Hank was being boss about it, all saying has around somewhere playing. I was about to call the police because I saw the back door open with one of those bulk snack boxes by it when a neighbor that lives 3 houses down came by to drop Bobby off. She told me he came through their doggy door and was trying to get into their daughter's room. They have a 5F daughter that Bobby plays with a few times a week. Obviously, I was freaked out, but thankful he went to a safe place. I yelled at Hank for not watching him, and he told me to calm down because it all worked out fine. So I waited for things to calm down. Then a few days ago, I snuck home early on Hank's day off and grabbed Ladybird and gave her to the same neighbor to watch. I made a big show of coming in noisily after and purposely left the back door open. Things were cool for a bit until he tried calling for Ladybird. I just kept playing along until he noticed the door. He freaked out, saying I wasn't careful and that Ladybird could be killed out there. He literally ran in just his shorts, no shirt, shoes, outside screaming her name and freaking out. During the time, I texted my neighbor to start walking the dog down. He saw her as he was about to get in his car and grabbed her and went inside. He yelled at me, calling me irresponsible, saying she could have been stolen or killed. I asked how he thought I felt when I couldn't find our literal child. He said it didn't compare and Bobby was just at the neighbor's and we live in a safe neighborhood, so nothing would have happened. I honestly didn't have anything to say to that. I packed a bag for Bobby and we stayed at a hotel for a bit. I'm checking out tomorrow, but I'm still angry. Hank's been texting me saying I'm childish, but I think has not taking this serious enough. Friends are mixed, let it go or I'm right to be mad. AITA. More information in the comments, Ash, and okay, that's a funny little story and all, but why would you waste time trying to prove a point about the dog when your boyfriend was guilty of literally neglecting your child? The time for playing little games and being smug about being right ended when your child wandered off and your boyfriend didn't care. In hindsight, it was childish, but leading up to this, we've been in many arguments about what happened, and I accused him of being more loving to the dog, which he denied and said he would get better, but it was dumb, but I needed actual evidence of him putting the dog first. This was the first time anything that bad had happened. I wanted proof of where his loyalties were instead of trying to pass as a one-time thing. My main problem was the reaction too. My son has escaped on me before too, but I've never not cared. Comments. Once our first child got mobile, crawling, my wife and I would have to chase him everywhere. One time, he got out of our sight for a minute. We couldn't find him. We searched frantically for an hour. We finally found him asleep behind a recliner close to the wall. I can't properly put into words how worried and fucking out of my mind I was. To be so nonchalant about a child escaping like that blows my mind. Even a babysitter that used to love the child would flip out because of the legal problems Hash will face if the kid escapes. How the child bited wasn't a few steps from a heart attack. It's amazing. Seriously, I think the guy will search more for a dollar bill than for his own son. I can't wrap my head over someone not freaking out that their toddler, went missing but doing so with a dog, and still not seeing the issue here. And I say this as a person who loves dogs. Any normal person would have freaked out at the child missing.